second here. Just gonna get this.
Marking the spot?
Yeah. Alright, we got a spot here. A new spot, right? I've been in here for one hunt one other time. I had a spike come in front of me. But when I had come in here to hunt this, we had talked about this a little bit. I think you kind of made it right up into the edge of these woods here, and we talked about how to maybe set up in this. And I had come in here, and I tried to stay off of deer trails as best as I could. I ended up sitting probably 75 yards behind me, but I wanted to push forward and see what was here, because there's a little timber point that comes off straight in front of us, and that meets with swamp, but there's also another timber point probably 100 yards past this one. So the deer trails clearly show that these deer are using that as a funnel. But I know that there's also bedding up there too. So but when I hunted in here, I did make my way up to here, and I can't remember for what reason I decided I couldn't make it work at the time. I don't know if it was the wind or what it was. I ended up backtracking like 75 yards behind me, but really everything, that point funnels all these deer coming right up that point.
Yeah, every trail comes to here and then spreads out.
Yep. And then we also have some white oaks in here too.
And you don't beyond here. You get beyond here and it's just dumps into swamp.
These are the last white oaks off of this point. But there's always good buck tracks in here. There's good buck sign. I've sat here and seen a buck, so I think this is something that we have to give a shot at this year again.
Let's take a look at the trails where they're coming through and stuff. They're coming off of that point.
Sure.
Noticing lots of browse. This is buckthorn here they're eating. Lots of buckthorn here being mowed down. Oh, here's a good trail where you're standing, right?
Yep. I would think this would be the main artery.
No, I'm willing to bet there's a real good one over there too.
Over there, right along there, yep.
Yeah. Look at all the leaves are off of this branch here. They ate every one of them along the trail.
Right off to the side of the tree here, that's kind of browsed.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's all browsed deer head range.
Yep.
Yeah. And we got oaks above us that are loaded with acorns. There's fresh poo. Oh yeah, and here's the jewel weed all mowed down.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, you can just see the trails through here. And that all comes together on that point. Let's look at the trail over here. Oh, look at this, dude. Look at all this jewel weed. Just every plant is gone.
Yep.
Yeah, this trail looks pummeled.
Love that.
The closer we get to this trail over here, the more this jewel weed is just mowed down. Hey, look at this, dude.
Yep.
Looks like cattle been running this trail. And it's just pummeled.
Pounded in pretty good. I wonder if there's another trail up against the grass up over here.
Yeah. Look at that track. I might fit my whole hand in that.
This is,
everything comes together right here.
This is looking pretty nice.
So if they're coming out here, and there's your tree, there's a little bit of buckthorn blocking it. But
yeah. I'm gonna have to probably get 4 sticks high, and then there's a small little window there.
I wonder if we could get right in here.
Branch. That I looked at that earlier too.
That's a pretty thick tree.
This one here, right?
Yeah.
And you have a lot of thick backdrop. We'll probably go about 5 sticks in that one, huh?
Hey, you get right up there. Right there.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Leaving a spot to hang your bowl.
Right?
So Dan and I, about 50 yards back, we had picked a tree that would be potentially a good spot for a hunt, but we didn't like some of the shooting lanes and the way it laid out with the trails, the deer trails that came in. So we just thought if we pushed a little closer to this point, that we could pinch these deer off even a little more. Now we're getting right up into the swamp, and we are past the last oak, I believe. So I think it's a good spot. We just
Show me where the trails are.
yeah, so I have a trail here coming right off of that point, leading off of that point. We have another really heavy trail 5 yards in front of us here, and I would believe we didn't walk up there, but I would almost guarantee there's another trail
right
along that transition on that edge there. So we kind of have to start with something in the middle, right? So that we have shooting to all of these. And I kind of like that dead ash tree right in the middle of.
So what is that, like 18 yards from here?
I'll take 18 or 19 yards. And that's the furthest shot.
No, it is a dead tree, but I bet you get a season out of it.
Yeah, it actually looks like you got a little bit of growth coming out of it, so it'd be an early season hunt, but.
I like it. It's nice too because we could access from over there. We don't have to walk through the woods where I think some of the deer might come from behind us because of the way bedding works out.
Come in through that grass.
But I do know that I've walked into here and had big bucks jump up there on a couple occasions. I've only been back here a few times, but I've seen it happen and seen some really big sign in here last year. So I don't think this is a bad option. I think you made a good pick.
Yeah, I feel better about this than that back there. I think back there we're just a little too far back, in my own personal opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, good.
Well, alrighty.
Another spot on the board.
So there was another trail that Eric spotted on the back side of this tree. There's the tree.
Not that we even spotted, but we kind of knew, right?
Yeah, well, we knew there'd be one along this edge.
Yep.
But yeah, this is pretty heavy.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's a cattle trail.
It is.
Yeah, it goes right underneath it. So this is looking pretty good.
So yeah, we can hit all those trails within, what did we say, 18, 19 yard shot? Everything else is
everything's less than 20. Yeah, less than 20. And not right under the tree either. I mean,
right.
you know, as long as that tree's alive, I think we get
that's
at least one season out of it, maybe two, before that tree goes down.
That's kind of the tricky thing when you get up to those points to where you have to be. There's almost guaranteed there's going to be a trail underneath a tree that you want to pick.
Correct.
That's the tricky part about it, but that's kind of where you have to be.
Yeah. There's a lot of food source in here for early season, dude.
Yeah, it's loaded with jewelweed, right?
Yep, jewelweed, that stingy nettle, the buckthorn that they eat.
And they'll eat that jewelweed all year.
That,
not a half bad trap.
oh yeah, look at that.
Here, right here. That's a 3-finger.
Yeah. There's acorns in here, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I like it. I'm glad we made a pit stop in here.
Crossing the creek, what do we see? Arrowhead. Look at that one's eaten in half, see it?
Yeah, yep.
You see that one leaf is right there. It's chewed in half.
Sure. Well, this is the deer crossing, so
yeah.
The deer coming by is looking at it.
What do the hunting public call that? Duck potato?
Yep.
Yeah. Arrowhead. That's what I call it. Hopefully we don't sink. Seems to be a bottom. It's close to the top though.
I think you gotta be on the tall grass.
Dude, my muck boots would go right over the top in this stuff. Did you make it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that stuff smells pleasant, don't it? Woo!
Oh, it smells good.
Jack from Gumleaf Boots says I should keep my boots oiled. Boots? Be oiled.
Pretty oiled up now. I got a little on mine too. Ooh.
Now that is a giant.
This looks like some fawn poopies.
Yeah.
That is a large turd.
Wow.
That means big stuff back here for sure.
Big poop, big butt, big buck.
You just came up with that all by yourself. What is it, Dan? 90 degrees out?
Oh, it's hot.
Your back sweat is showing it right through your gray t-shirt.
I think it's like 100 degrees out.
It was warm.
God, look at this trail, dude.
Unreal.
just worn to the ground.
Yeah, the sign in here is just... pretty decent sized tracks to pick up on too if you're looking close enough.
Looks like a coyote kill.
It sure does look that way.
Yeah, they always eat the internal organs first. They'll probably be back. They probably did that last night.
Yeah, that's too bad.
That's pretty fresh. That might even be this morning.
Yeah, I would have guessed last night too, but yeah, you're very well could have been this morning too.
It's blood in there and stuff, and it's like 100 degrees out.
Yeah, it's fresh. Yep, no doubt.
It's always sad, but that's nature, you know.
Right.
Coyotes got to eat too, I guess. Sucks.
That is true.
We were in here last time. We noticed a lot of big buck bedding over here that was really in a big open spot. So we're trying to check the back side of it in case any of it's coming through this way towards crops. And there's a canal here, and we knew there would be bedding along this canal, and it's really, everything's coming together on a little higher ground. It goes down in here along the canal. And this is starting to look like a lot of travel goes through right here, and I wouldn't doubt it if there's bedding in here. I'm really thinking there is. So I think we're going to mark this group of trees that'd be really good on a southwest wind, and anything coming out of the buck bedding over there is going to come by here. But I think we're going to have the added benefit of, I think we're going to find buck beds in here. As we were coming up here, a nice buck crossed the trail in front of us right here coming out of here. And there's giant deer turds all over in here. So, and it's some pretty good trails. So I think we're going to mark these trees right here. We're shooting them right here, and there's a couple trails right on the other side. But I think this is your main shooting right here, which is about a 12 or 14 yard shot. And then we're going to scout down further and see where there's bedding in here, because we might be right on top of it when we get into cane grass. I think along that canal there's going to be some bedding too. But I think these two bedding areas kind of connect right here.
Yeah, I think the southwest wind, I think you're spot on with it. I mean, that's kind of what the wind is doing right now. So we have access from this way, right, to get in.
Yeah, we just got to learn where the bedding is here so that we avoid it.
Yep. So with the southwest wind, we can get around that bedding, but also anything coming up this way, you know, we can put a shot on them before they could scent us on a southwest wind.
One of the good things is too, that we know over there is just a ton of bedding. If we're up a tree high enough, there's a good chance that we get a glimpse of a buck too, and can make a mobile move.
Right.
So we can do an observation from up there too. So it's a pretty good starting point for this spot.
Oh, I would agree, definitely. Unless we see something better up that way, but I don't see that happening. This looks like this is it. Yep, I agree.
All right. Eating plenty of pollen today. How about you?
It's just loaded right in the corner of your mouth.
Yeah, it's like a dust bowl.
Looks like you just ate at McDonald's. You had too much.
So we got in a little ways, and you can
sandwich.
see where the trails are branching off into bedding, and we're finding beds. Like here's a bed with a rub in it real high. Here's the bed. There's broken branches all around it, and you can see the bed here. You can see it hasn't been used in a long time, that there's stinging nettles growing on it, but you see poop in it from last year. So literally, when this gets more mature, this is a buck bed. So this is real close to those trees we were just looking at. So it kind of locks in what we were thinking.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, there's a lot of sign of deer in here too. We're finding willow trees that where all the branches are eaten up, and
I kind of figured this little tree line had some potential. We're on just a little bit higher elevation here, in and amongst all these cattails around us and
it's
swamp.
all water and cattails, and this is the only place that's high ground, and nobody's coming out here. And they can get here isolated. It's almost like an island, and you know, 200-300 yards through water, and they hit dry land and crops.
Yep.
It's a pretty good area.
And that rub is way the heck up there.
Yeah, it is.
It really doesn't look like
Look at this.
much right now, but you can see how thinned out this is.
You like this one?
Ooh,
You probably kicked that one out of there.
that's a little cave.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's a big bed too.
Yeah, that is.
Maybe that's the one that buck we saw across in front of us came out of.
That could be. That could be.
Yeah, so we're in them.
Cool.
Eric was spying this island, wanted us to check it out. It's all willow. You can tell there's no leaves starting on it, it's all dead. There's heavy trails going in and out of here. And actually some pretty big buck tracks on them. I mean, come here, look at this trail one. Just look up this trail, look at the size of the tracks on there.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you come in here and you look, it's an oasis. Cattails right up to the edge of here. And then if you come in here spring scouting, you'd be thinking, wow, 10-foot cattails surrounding this in this little oasis of trees. And I'd be willing to bet we come in here, we go to the point, there'll be beds on the point and stuff inside of here, up against the cattails. And literally, we were just mentioning that if we came in here spring scouting, you'd think this is a gold mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you come in here now, and what do you think?
It looks dead.
Yeah.
It looks dead.
You know why?
It looks like there's features where deer might use this as a funnel during night,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
Because this is so dry this year,
Mm-hmm.
the water's level so low, none of the cattails regrew. We're not going to have cattails in here. See, look at those cattails, oh, they're all dead. Look at that way. See the cattails where there's water? See how they're green and they're over our head already?
It's green and they're 8 feet tall.
Yeah. There's not going to be that this year here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be wide open. So if you came here in spring and you were expecting those cattails, you would have thought this is going to be a great area. That's how things can change.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's take a look at the point, see if there's any beds over there.
Yeah, it actually looked like there were 2 little micro points up here.
Oh, kind of like that?
Yep. You can see where that green vegetation just hints to you that there's a little bit higher ground. So there's a nice little point out here.
Old bed right
And
here.
there's one out here.
Old one. Now when you get right out to the point, here's the bed here.
Mm-hmm.
There's the bed there. You're willing to bet there's one under this tree here. But there's no cattails. Normally this would be surrounded by a wall of cattails.
Right.
So, well, what you can do is you can take a mental note of this. And if next year it's cattails, this might be a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
However, the dryness also killed all these willow trees. There ain't a leaf on them.
Yeah, they're all dead, aren't they?
Yeah, they're completely dead. So they ain't coming back.
It looks like they would have been alive last year.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's just way too dry this year.
Jeez.
The drought killed them. So it literally killed this spot.
Yeah, and it has been dry. I think we've had 2 good days of rain in the last.
Just shows you though, you could come in here in spring and think you're onto a killer spot. And you know, that's why you can't put all your eggs in one
Yeah,
basket.
you're
You don't know
exactly
what's gonna
right
happen.
about that. Yep. Well, it was worth a look because we're kind of headed back, so.
Yep, yep.